Good evening, it's News360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Addis Ababa. I am Portia Dabo.
And I am Martin.
News360 Headlines is brought to you from Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Tonight, 12 out of every 100 Ghanaians still unsure who to vote for 1 month to the December 7 elections.
Eastern Region Health Directorate confirms first case of cholera in Adabraka South Municipality.
Also coming up, academic enrollment in some rural public basic schools in the northern part of the country experiencing steep decline because school feeding caterers do not cook for pupils.
In business news, freight forwarders accuse shipping lines for the fall of the cedi and soaring prices as they call on Ghanaians to join fight against unfair charges.
On the international front, America goes to the polls tomorrow. An election has been described as one of the closest races in the country's political history.
We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
Welcome to your Election Command Center. Let's dig straight into the big political stories we have for you this evening. And as Ghana prepares for its presidential and parliamentary elections in December, a number of voters are still undecided as to who to vote for. According to Global Info Analytics, 12 out of every 100 Ghanaians are still unsure about who to vote for. This could have a significance on the election outcome, considering that 8 out of every 10 undecided voters believe that the country is heading in the wrong direction.
With 33 days to the December 7 polls, some Ghanaians say they are undecided on who to vote for.
I'm not sure.
Why?
I'm not really sure. Because sometimes if like I have to see something before maybe you prove me that I will just vote.
I don't know whom to vote. Because now things have already changed. Then you can decide to vote for this one rather than voting for someone.
I've not made up my mind yet. Well, looking at the economy and the things going on right now, I don't know who to elect in, and I don't know who is going to lead us with good leadership skills and all that.
So who is an undecided voter?
They are floating voters, and then also followed by those who don't tell you the party they support. And then you have NPP voters, and then you have NDC in that order. The least of them is the NDC. NDC guys are fully decided. They know what they are doing. Very few are undecided, really undecided. And those may fall within the group that they will be mischievous because they know who they will vote for, but they'll just tell you that, oh, I'm undecided. But the real ones are the floating voters.
Musa Dankwa explains which candidates or parties are most appealing to undecided voters.
You have to go back and look at the views of people who are undecided when it came to the direction of the country. So, for example, do you believe that Ghana is headed in the right direction or wrong direction? 6% of those who said they are undecided, they are saying that Ghana is headed in the right direction. But 76% of those who are undecided are saying that Ghana is headed in the wrong direction. And 19% are saying they have no opinion. So from this, you could see what they could do if pushed to the wall, because you would also know which of the two candidates or the candidates get support from people who are saying Ghana is headed in the wrong direction. So there will be enough clue for you to really decide or to know what they would do in the end.
What factors may sway undecided voters to choose one candidate over another?
Can they make them feel that the country is now headed in the right direction? or will be headed in the right direction if they are elected? What can they say to assure them of this? And then again, a very good number of them are saying that the economic condition has gotten worse. Between now and election, can they make the life of those people better off or better compared to last year? So these are challenging situations for the ruling party in particular.
With 33 days to go, candidates will need to focus on addressing the concerns of undecided voters to win their support.
Right, so if you're watching us and you are undecided, you might probably want to tell us why in the comment section. But if you're decided, all the better for you, because it is a good thing to go to the polls and vote. Let's find out from a political risk analyst, Dr. Theo Champong, on what he makes of that 12% group of voters who say they are unsure which way they're going to be voting. Doc, thank you for your time, and good evening to you.
Pleasure to be here. Good evening.
Right, to start with, 12%, that's quite a sizable number that could decide an election. What, in your estimation, could be why they say, less than a month to an election, or almost a month to an election, but I'm not sure which way I'm going to vote?
So you're right in saying that it's a sizable number. So statistically, 12% would even be more than the margin of error of the poll and where things are likely to be headed. However, when you actually unpack it a little bit further, you see that 12% is actually not that big a number, given that we still have a month or so to go with the election. So what do I mean by that? If you go and look at some of the other historical polls, including one that myself and some colleagues did in 2020, as of 6 weeks to go to the election, we had at that time about 18 or so % of the people that were undecided. I think what is really important, and which is what the pollsters in this case, Musa and the team, are pointing to, is the fact that when you disaggregate these undecideds, you would get a significant chunk of them being potentially people that affiliate with the incumbent regime or the NPP in this case. So if you just take Ghana or put Ghana aside for a moment and you look at other global polls from other jurisdictions, whenever you have this big number of undecideds in an election that is, likely to be closely fought, then it indicates that there are people that would typically be, affiliated with the incumbent government, and they are not happy for one reason or the other. And what is also important, maybe just to add here, is the fact that, I don't know what the questions that were asked, but presumably they would have asked them whether they have voted or did vote in 2020, and therefore they then intend to, for example, vote, right, in 2024. However, they are undecided as to who they will vote for. And that is also an important factor that we need to take into account. But I think, like I said, the main point in all of this is that when you disaggregate them, you're likely to get a lot more of the undecideds coming from people that likely affiliate with the incumbent regime.
Right, Dr. Theo Champong, thank you so much. For lack of time, we'd have to leave it here for now, but thank you for your expert thoughts on this particular story. And like we indicated, if you have decided already, do let us know which way you're going. If you have not, also comment in the section below, and we'll be happy to share your thoughts with the rest of the world.
In more news tonight, the flag bearer of the NDC says he is disappointed that President Akufo-Addo and his vice, Dr. Bawumia, failed to honor personally a call by the Pentecostal Council, the Christian Council, and the Chief Imam for the National Peace Campaign. Speaking exclusively to TV3, John Mahama says the priority the NDC has placed on a peaceful process leading to the election is a reflection that it is committed to lasting peace in the country. He spoke exclusively to Komla Kluche.
Your people said you shouldn't have gone to the peace campaign yesterday, most especially when the president and his vice ignored it. And there's also talk about the fact that you fled the northern side when you went for the first phase of the campaign.
No. We structured the northern campaign in 2 phases. We finished the first phase, and this was supposed to be the second phase. We were supposed to finish on Sunday by going to Karaga, Gushegu and Myong. There were just 3 constituencies left. But just before then, I got a delegation from the Ghana Peace and Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council saying that themselves, Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, Ghana Association of Christian Charismatic Churches, the Office of the Chief Imam, and others were organizing this peace campaign. I told them the notice is short, and apart from that, I have these important campaign rallies to fulfill. But after this, so I offered even to send my running mate, Nana, but they impressed on me that they needed me there. And they also said that the president and Baumia were going to be there. And so based on that assurance, I said, well, let me sacrifice this program just to come and show that we also are committed to peace. And so I did that, only to come and find out that the president and Dr. Baumia did not prioritize it. I was very disappointed, but I thank God that I attended, at least on behalf of my party, who made a commitment to peace. I think they didn't prioritize it. It was not important to them, because Dr. Baumia could have attended. He was doing this youth thing at 5 o'clock, and this program started at 2. And so he could have been there for 2 hours and gone to his youth program. He just decided that he didn't want to come. The president too had gone to Hogbechocho in Volta region the day before, and Sunday was in town. And yet he sent Asabi. You know, it was very disappointing, but we have demonstrated our commitment to peace, and I think that that's a good thing.
In more political stories, the New Patriotic Party is having a pipe dream in the quest to win 300,000 votes in the Volta region. That's according to a report that we are going to bring to you in a jiffy. But before we bring you that story, let's also shift our attention to some other political stories. You're still watching News360 on TV3. And like we indicated, John Dramani Mahama, whom you just heard from, is in the Volta, in the OT region, and has just gone there a few days after the NPP's candidate left the OT region. So, I mean, do the math for yourself. But clearly he's been trying to get the people to understand the policies of the NDC to get to vote for them.
How optimistic are you over the votes from the OT region and the Volta region specifically?
The last election, we won all the constituencies in the OT region. I'm positive again that we can win all the votes in the OT region. We want to increase the votes that we get from the Volta region and the OT region. And I'm sure that if we're able to do that, also increase our votes in Greater Accra. Greater Accra, we won it the last time with only 76,000 votes. We need to win it by about 300,000 votes. And we need to widen the gap in Volta region. MPP got about 100,000 votes in Volta region the last time. We got about 800,000. We need to decrease the votes that they get in Volta region.
Happy to 300,000.
That's a pipe dream.
A dream?
It's a pipe dream. I don't think MPP can get 300,000 in Volta region. Mark my words, so we'll look at the results when they come. Yeah, they can't get 300,000 in Volta region. We're going to win it. I mean, Volta region knows that, I mean, it's NDC that stands for them. Everything, regional hospital, University of Health and Allied Sciences, you know, virtually everything, electrification, water, Pando water system, I mean, everything is provided in NDC time. And we have very good plans for the Volta region. We want to, Volta and OT, we want to do one of the special agri processing zones in Volta and OT, because The good thing, I mean, God works in mysterious ways. There's no mining in Volta and OT. And so you can see how lush the vegetation is. I mean, they will have some of the most beautiful vegetation in the whole country. And that's a blessing from God. And so tourism will flourish there. And they produce so much cassava, so much maize, so much yam. They produce ginger, they produce pepper, they produce everything. And so if we're able to put in the processing capacity, they produce rice. And some of the places, they produce the rice, they just sell the paddy. If we put in rice processing mills, we can brand it OT aromatic rice or Afife perfumed rice or something. And then we can market it so that we can cut down the amount of food we import. And so we're going to pay a special attention to those two regions and see how we can put in agribusiness and agro-processing. When we're in office too, we're trying to raise the production of cocoa. So we established nurseries. At the time we came, cocoa production was very low in Volta region. We set up nurseries, we get free seedlings, we help the farmers, and it has increased phenomenally the production of cocoa.
In the Ashanti region, presidential candidate of the NPP, Dr. Bawumia, says he will turn small-scale miners into millionaires by introducing an effective railway system in mining communities across the country. He made the statement while addressing party supporters in Yinehin, located in the Atwemampunya constituency, during his tour of the region.
The flag bearer also toured in Tobroso in the Atwemampunya constituency as part of his Ashanti region tour. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said he will introduce new policies to regulate mining in the country. According to the flag bearer, the new policy will involve the participation of chiefs in mining concessions.
Na yabua small-scale miners no mwetimi mining in a responsible manner.
Today, I want to bring policies that will help miners to mine responsibly.
For omu maps ba achire and baby gold no war so that you won't do trial and error. Me pese ahimfonoso me din shisheba all the mining concessions maybe a mwasa aseswa ye the concessions no econo. The chiefs must have an interest and a share in those concessions.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia also spoke about reducing food importation through an agriculture mechanization system under his presidency.
The number one priority of my government will be agriculture. The entire
The reason is most of Ghana's population are farmers.
Enti Ekuafo ye Ghana so be ye. The agricultural enclaves so eba district bia enclaves bia ewo comparative advantage itimi ye a particular crop no ye be boa omo na the processing facilities so aka ho.
Still on elections and in the camp of the NPP, its flag bearer says the next NPP administration will seek to create 4 million jobs to meet growing demand. In a formal engagement with young voters in Accra, the NPP flag bearer reiterated his pledge to create an enabling environment for private tree sector-led growth.
Detailing interventions captured in the NPP's 2024 manifesto, Dr. Bawumia touted achievements made by the current government, including the creation of 2.6 million jobs. He stated that despite this success, a lot more jobs will be created if given the nod.
If in 8 years, with all the challenges, we were able to do 2.6 million jobs, it shows, by just plain logic and reason, that we will do much more than 2.6 million in the next 8 years. I expect us to go to at least if we proceed on this trajectory for the next 8 years, we should, with all of these different aspects come in, I am looking at us moving to create 4 million jobs in the next 8 years.
When asked about his digitization drive, which has been questioned by the opposition, Dr. Bawumia said that John Mahama must steer clear of the presidency.
Today he says there is no link between digitalization and the economy. Right? How can that be in this fourth industrial revolution? How can we have a leader who doesn't appreciate the value of digitalization in a digital global economy? He should not be allowed close to the presidency with that mindset. He should not be allowed close to the presidency with that mindset. A leader who doesn't understand digitalization in today's world wants to be president of a country like ours.
Regarding recent power challenges, he emphasized the need for a quick resolution to the issues.
The power challenges that we've had recently, from my understanding, there's been issues with gas supplies, and that has resulted. But I'm told that this situation is about to be resolved.
In more news tonight, with some few days left for Parliament to reconvene, Majority Chief Whip and Nsawam Adojiri MP, Frank Anodompre, has criticized the Speaker of Parliament's leadership style, describing it as biased and one that favors the NDC. He made these remarks at an NPP victory walk in Nsawam, where he hinted that NPP has a tough skin and respects Alban Babin as Speaker, but will not be intimidated by the NDC.
The Speaker, I respect him a lot because we share Parliament, or he's the most experienced person in Parliament. But so in the few days to election, he will go down. He will be the worst Speaker in your court, has done the right thing. We expect the Speaker to respect the decision of the court, and the NDC should also respect the decision of the court. If they won't respect it, the Ghanaian people should know the kind of people who wants to lead us. One, they are not law-abiding. They don't respect the separation of powers. They don't respect the ruling of the Supreme Court. How can they rule us? How? I'm asking you. A group of people who don't respect a court decision, should we allow them to rule us? And so we are in the majority. There is no shade of doubt. Osan court be a court pronouncement in by. Someone said, Speaker signed court. I hope you know. Then I court the guy. It's concluded.
Away from politics now, the Eastern Regional Health Directorate has confirmed its first case of cholera in the Adabraka South Municipality. Regional Health Director Winfred Ofosu tells TV3 that the contact of the case is being traced to contain the spread while heightening surveillance in the region. He has been speaking exclusively to our Eastern Regional correspondent, Yvonne Nikwe.
Eastern Regional Health Directorate has confirmed the case of cholera in the region, specifically in the Adabraka South Municipality. The Eastern Regional Health Director, Dr. Winfred Ofosu, says the case was contracted by a student from Kaswa in the Central Region. This has been envisaged because of the proximity of the Greater Accra region and the Central Region, and where the Eastern Region lies.
We had a report of a student who has returned from vacation to Kibi Secondary Technical School, and was showing signs that were suggestive of cholera. So we take specimen for testing, while he was sent to the Kibi Government Hospital for management. So that lab result turned out to be positive for cholera. And so once we got that message, we activated the containment measures to make sure that the disease doesn't spread to the larger population. And among them were to look out for close contacts of these particular students. We had a total of 33 close contacts, which we are monitoring to see if any of them will develop symptoms of cholera, then we can test them. The good news also is that since we began management of this student, is doing very well. So we are happy about that. And then we have sent alert all around We've done some education of the immediate community and things to allay the fears of the people in the area.
He's been advising school authorities to ensure that hand-washing facilities are in schools from the basic to senior high levels. He also encouraged the general public to continue to adhere to the measures put in place by the Ghana Health Service.
Away from the eastern region, academic enrollment in some rural public basic schools in northern Ghana is experiencing a steep decline because school feeding caterers do not cook for pupils. Stanley Niblo reports caterers make pupils in some areas to bring firewood and water to school before they cook for them.
The school feeding program was an integral part of the educational reform under former President John Agyekum Kufuor's administration in 2005. The project was designed to provide food to pupils in lower primary levels to improve enrollment and retention. Although the program has been expanded to cover more schools and pupils, especially in rural communities, the targets are not being achieved in some beneficiary schools. Caterers contracted by the School Feeding Secretariat under the auspices of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to cook for the pupils do not fulfill their part of the engagement, resulting in mass absenteeism in some beneficiary schools. The situation is common in the 5 regions of the north. The Kandigi Primary School in the Wa East district of the Upper West region is one of such schools. The school's enrollment shot up from 69 to 160 in a year after it was included in the school feeding program. Now, enrollment has declined to less than 30 because the feeding has been irregular.
When I came, I met the 69 people. So they complained that there wasn't any food for the children. I wrote to the district assembly if they could help me get school feeding. So fortunately, I was able to acquire that for them. So when I acquired the feeding, they started feeding and the enrollment started increasing. But the cook, the caterer, she was the problem, another challenge. So whenever she stopped cooking, you see the people drop out of school.
I requested to speak to the caterer, but the teachers claim she is not known to them. Pupils in schools in the Kwandai district of the northern region benefiting from the school feeding program are facing similar challenges. At the Blajai and Leseni primary schools, pupils are compelled to bring water and firewood to school before food is cooked and served to them. On some occasions, food is not prepared for the pupils for weeks. But the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dakwa Newman, during an engagement with journalists at the Meet the Press series, indicated that a new regime of caterers verification for cooking days is now in place.
Well, you're still watching News 360 on TV3. Let's go to the big story that happened over the weekend where some masked armed robbers, shook residents of Adabraka. Now, the latest is that the residents in and around Adabraka say they are still living in fear 2 days after the robbery incident in their community. Many have voiced concerns about the response time of the Adabraka police station, located just a minute away from the crime scene. Joseph Armstrong Goldalogbe has been speaking with some of the residents.
Because anything at all can happen when this thing occurred again. It's very, very, very serious. It's very, very serious. Something must be done about it.
But you are saying, but the police came to your aid when the thing happened.
Oh, the police, yeah, I don't count the police inside. I saw only one policeman. The police station is not far from here? It's not far. It's not far from here. Just a junction from here to that side. It's just a junction there. Yeah.
And it's a big worry to you?
Yeah, it's a big worry to me because this is my house and the thing happened in front of my house.
And you are told this is the second time in how many months?
Second time. In 3 or 4 months. September.
It happened in September?
Not September. In August.
In August?
Yes.
So approximately 3 months?
Yeah, 3 months now.
The first one happened?
Yes.
And this also happened again?
Yes.
What message do you have for the police service?
The police service. they should be upcoming. They should be doing something. Do something, yeah. Because everybody knows where the thing happened and where they are. They are just nearer to where the thing happened. So they should do something.
They should do something.
Yeah, they should do something.
You want to pass. So the red car start coming reverse to park. All of them, the men came out.
But at this point, you were expecting to see the police around?
Yes, because it's just a minute walk from the police station. So really, we're not safe with the police here.
You think you are not safe with the police here?
Yes, we are not safe with them.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. When we return, we'll let you know what's the latest in the world of business.
You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has 2 of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles.
For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal.
You're looking for a bank to rely on. Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. We do we say to bank be no lie. Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here any date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilling, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first. Woo!
Nobody feel do I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Mama, stop worrying. How is Kobna? I got some of his medication. His friends are raising funds to support us.
The kidney disease has taken the toll. But my son and our father says so.
Mama, there is hope. The pharmacist told me about Mahama's policies on chronic diseases. John Mahama is going to establish the Mahama Cares Fund to support Ghanaians with kidney diseases, sickle cell, cancer, diabetes, hypertension and other heart conditions to support and ease the financial burden on families like ours. Mama, but that is not all. Ghanaians can access free health care when they go to the CHIPS compound, health centers, clinics and polyclinics. Mama, we have to vote wisely for Kobne's sake. Mama, wipe your tears. Wipe your tears. Mahama cares.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Today, we thank you very much for your invaluable service to this group.
It's a place to thrive.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Softcare always stays with you.
New Softcare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Softcare. Protect your leap.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN.
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, the Coalition of Freight Forwarders Association has blamed shipping lines operating in Ghana for the poor performance of the city and the high cost of goods in the country. At a press conference prior to protest, what they described as imposing arbitrary charges and engaging in unfair practices, the association called on all Ghanaians to join the fight against the illegitimate activities of some of the shipping companies.
The coalition, consisting of 5 associations and their allies in the trading community, highlighted several unfair practices by shipping lines. These included arbitrary charges, weekend and holiday demurrage, undue delays in processing refunds, blocking of agents, unfair competition, and inefficient release processes, all of which have led to increased costs for importers. The association stated that these activities have significantly contributed to the poor performance of the city and high cost of goods across the country.
You are charging me administrative in United States dollars. Now, after they've collected all these monies in trillions of Ghana cedis, what do you think they are using the money for? They don't need your cedis. They go to the market for the dollars. Check Thursday, Friday, go to any black market, only Forex Bureau. The dollar would go. They'll tell you the shipping lines are in town, coming for the dollars. So this is what we are talking about. If you talk about price of goods, if I import cargo and you are picking these illegitimate fees from me, of course that will reflect on my price of my goods on the market.
The association also urged the Ghana Shippers Authority to take decisive action, especially with a new act that empowers them to regulate the activities of these shipping lines.
Now you have an act. That was an error. You have an act. So, I mean, we are only expecting that the shipping lines will go all out. Thankfully, I mean, we hear there is a new sheriff in town. There is a new Shippers Authority boss. He is a new person, new ideas. We are hoping that he will take that act and run with it. Spare no one.
Leading voice in Ghana's mining industry and chief executive of Nguvu Mining, Angela List, is urging stakeholders to strengthen local content policies as the sector remains heavily reliant on imported equipment. According to her, increasing local production of mining implements could cut costs, support Ghanaian businesses and generate more jobs, aligning with national goals to deepen local participation in mining.
Positives I can see is in the local content policies that have been passed, because prior to that, and I tell my counterparts all the time, when I first started, over 20 years ago, I would always be in meetings with expatriates. They dominated, whether it was in the chief executives, the heads, and our business itself had quite a number of expatriates. So in that way, it's been very positive. We've evolved. Now you hardly see any expatriates in meetings.
And you're so far satisfied with the local content provisions?
It's work in progress. It's really about encouraging more local content in the manufacturing space. Unfortunately, most of the implements we use for mining are imported, so I'd like to see a lot more in manufacturing, the consumables that we use in mining.
Well, the full interview will air tomorrow on Business Focus at 5 p.m. prompt. Now, away from that, Ghana's fight against drug piracy and illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing along the Gulf of Guinea is expected to receive a major boost. It follows the launch of the Grand African Navy exercise aimed at bolstering maritime operations by the French Navy.
We have now
The exercise, co-organized by France and the Yaoundé Maritime Security Architecture, aims at contributing to the freedom of navigation in the Gulf of Guinea by strengthening the contribution in the fight against maritime insecurity. With a drastic decline in maritime accidents in 2024, French Ambassador to Ghana, Jules Armand Animosu, wants a no maritime incidents regime.
This exercise, the 7th edition that starts today for 1 week, 10 years after the creation of Yaoundé architecture, to exercise on very, very, very key topics: piracy, every kind of trafficking at sea. Also, to exercise about illegal fishing.
Speaking on behalf of the Chief of Naval Staff, Flag Officer commanding the Western Naval Command, Commodore Emmanuel Yensukwesi, urged participating countries and agencies to show keen interest in the exercise.
It's been very beneficial because the various international bodies and the various agencies in various countries, there's efficiency, there's cooperation, there's learning over the period. You know, so that learning has translated into the results that we've obtained. There's reduced piracy, there's increased security in the Gulf of Guinea. You know, so at all levels, international level, the national level, the sister agencies of the various countries have become more efficient.
A key driver to the success of declining maritime incidents has been attributed to the use of the Yaoundé Architecture Regional Information System, which plays an important role in providing real-time information and coordination at sea.
The YARIS provides an interface by which all participants in the exercise have a common platform on which they can readily share information. And there are protocols and modalities as to how it's used for which the participants have been trained on. So it serves to enhance interoperability, it serves to enhance effective communication as far as the exercise is concerned.
The 7th edition of the major exercise Grand African Nemo 2024 spans from November 4 to 12, 2024.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next, the sports.
Nede ma besrawo. Sehwi we aso ye Cocoa City. Ade ye dia no, ye na sese ye kura no. Enye se obi na ba befa akokora no. Na yakotobi. Sehwi we aso enye kura se. Ayade a mome de machines sisi ha. Adwuma more than 10,000. And money nyina benya adwuma. Nkatiena moya wa. Hey, na we na mode ho nkatiena no.
Pillars near 12, ministers near 12. All of the so I say number 12. It's a Misrama Moka. Oshas Yanamukai 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. making sure you have a responsive support system. Backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
After this fufu and pepper soup, I go score goals like them the dash points.
Kivo 100% natural hot pepper. Good for your jollof, stew, soup, shito, spaghetti, and noodles. Kivo hot pepper. Moko show.
I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 100% natural hot pepper. Champion taste.
This advert is FDA approved.
The 5 kg of rice has moved from 25 cedis to 165. Oh.
Hey! Boss, cement moved from 24 cedis to 105 cedis now. Hey!
The kenke is 5 cedis. The fish I have 10, 15, and 20 cedis. Which one do you want?
Hey!
Stop the A.
Hey!
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
I'm a Ghanaian and I love luxury accredited faith. And I love democracy.
December 7th, Ghana is voting.
Only peace. Peace, I give it to you all.
I love Ghana.
Peaceful election before, during, and after.
One Ghana.
Peace. Peace to everybody.
One Ghana. Ghana Bakumpe.
This message brought to you from the luxury accredited faith.
Hey, to be champion.
Darling natural twists blend with her hair over time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She's really more beautiful every week. Darling natural twists get better every day, just like you.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
Sanlam and Allianz is now Sanlam Allianz, Africa's largest insurer.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. The Ghana Football Association has been clamping down hard today on players and clubs and officials who says that they have been abusing referees and other match officials. In 2 separate rulings, the JFA has given medium-term bans to 2 players and officials for this reason. Former Asante Kotoko coach Bashir Hayford was served a 5-match ban after he was found guilty of abusing match officials in the Ghana Premier League game against Cholera United. Let's do some more here, where at the recently held Under-15 elite competition organized by the Ghana Football Association earlier this year, the Ashanti region emerged champions, but a 9-year-old stood out, earning the honor of the most promising player. Her name is Raphael Kuruwa. 3 Sports spoke to key figures who have contributed to her growth so far and tells her story.
In the midst of taller, stronger players at the Under-15 female elite competition in July 2024 at Pram Pram, Rahel Kuruwa, a 9-year-old winger, stood out as she displayed movement well beyond their years. Her performances sparked conversation during the 10-day period, earning her the Most Promising Player award. Kuruwa lives in an old home at Sefri Debiso, a town in the Bia West district in the Western North region, with a family of 16. Each morning, she wakes up with a smile, juggles with a football, and gets ready for the day. Her mother, Adabraka, who used to play football in her younger years, recounts how Kruwa was first introduced to the sport.
I started ball no 1 year. Now me say me say I said me ko be me to board the brain because now me say my ball na me fit. Me ankasa class me ball kakra. Me na ade me fit me ko be me to board the brain na me zisi ball 7 ni bibia.
Kruwa, in previous years, used to make an hour-long journey to a Morecroom basic school on a motorcycle. She now schools at St. Philip's, which is within walking distance from home, and hopes it can aid their combined education with their lifelong dream of playing professional football.
About physical activity, specifically football. Miss Saka, across the says, you have no echo inter-school sports festival. That's why Kruwa everyone home of the you go say you say na Kruwa ejimutintima ese fana bo prama ye cap.
The forward was recently recruited by the Blacko Soccer Academy in Seshi, where she trains each day after school with players of the same age group and older. Coaches in the establishment believe the 9-year-old is a special talent.
I was a little bit surprised because we sent our scout, Pascal, to go for. He came to us to tell us that well, a man will play a B or some village B Kakanabo. So we should give a try. So why not?
Kruwa has displayed passion, fearlessness, and the willingness to dominate despite her tender age. The world is currently at her feet, but like many talents before her, only the right guidance and career choices can potentially take her to the heights she desires.
Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
My life wasn't always like this. I worked in a bank and had money in bonds to cushion me for the future. Then, with a stroke of a pen, my life was destroyed. My bank was part of the 420 financial institutions which the MPP government recklessly collapsed. What was to become the life of the workers? No one in this insensitive government cared. And suddenly, I was jobless. Their incessant borrowing also led to a debt restructuring program that affected me, and just like that, a significant portion of my lifetime investment vanished. Even worse, my lifetime savings from 30 years of hard work has been rendered useless due to the continuous depreciation of the cedi and extremely high cost of living in the country. Now, look at me. The fruits of my toil and sweat have all gone down the drain because of bad leadership. What to eat with my children is even a struggle. God, help me and the many who share in my pain. Let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end. Change must come.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
When you're little, days are extremely busy. Work, traffic jams, meetings, conference calls. Luckily, our mom is here to take good care of us with day-by-day baby and day-by-day kids and their naturally active ingredients. Our skin is hydrated, soothed, and protected all day long. Yes, hello?
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia, #1 on the ballot.
Rise and shine, it's another day to stay on point. Toast is Friday, it's still on point. Watch is Friday all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch is Friday, it's still It's creamy.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Nana, who are you voting for this year?
How about area? As for this question, you need not ask. John Mama and the NDC, of course. Who else? You know there should be a change. Maybe I should have brought my to papa.
Nana, born before computer.
Dear,
do you still remember how to vote?
I am so sharp. On December 7th, when I get to my police station, I'll take my voter's ID card to the EC officer. He will check, find my name, and give me a ballot paper. I'll inspect the ballot paper and make sure the EC stamp is at the back with no other markings around it. When I get to the box, I will just inspect the paper again, search for the umbrella. I will just put my thumb in the ink pad and stamp the empty box just by the umbrella, not on the line or Muhammad's face, but in the empty box just by the umbrella. Then I clean my hand, fold my ballot paper vertically and horizontally, and drop it straight into the presidential box.
Nana, well done.
On the parliamentary candidate, I'll just stamp my hand in the empty box just by the umbrella. Now I'm done. Give it back.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
This news segment is brought to you by
Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening. Let's do some entertainment news updates here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, Guinness Ghana has officially introduced a new product to the Ghanaian market, and that is Don Julio 1942, renowned as the world's #1 tequila brand. Now, celebrated for its exceptional craftsmanship and meticulous production process, Don Julio Tequila embodies quality and tradition, proudly holding its title as the best tequila globally.
Baby girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
The celebration highlighted the brand's legacy and welcomed attendees to experience the unique flavor that has captivated tequila lovers worldwide. Manufactured in Mexico, imported by Guinness Ghana, Don Julio 1942 tequila was launched in style at the Don Julio Halloween event held at the Ace Central nightclub.
It's the best time for us to leverage that to be able to outdoor our prestigious and premium tequila brand, Don Julio in Ghana. So there are so many tequila brands in the world. Don Julio is very unique when it comes to its production process with a rich craftsmanship all the way from Mexico. So we're bringing Don Julio to you in Ghana with so much love from Mexico.
Don Julio 1942 is more than just tequila. It's a testament to over 70 years of tradition and expertise and stands as the world's #1 tequila brand, known for its smooth, rich flavor that tequila enthusiasts treasure. Ya Amwa Owusu is the marketing manager for spirits and RTD at Guinness Ghana.
So Don Julio, it's all about celebration. So when you think of any celebration, Don Julio must be the center of that. And this is why we have outdoored it very close to Christmas. There are so many activities that we have lined up in town. Ghanaians should look out for all of them and participate. When you think of any celebration, Don Julio should be the highlight.
Baby girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment right here on News 360. My name is Noella. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Noella. On the international front, Americans will head to the polls tomorrow to vote. Let's speak to Dr. Hayford Nsia. He's a public policy and political analyst. Doc, thank you so much for your time. What will it take for either candidate to win this election?
Well, I believe at the moment
many voters have already made up their mind. So there's not much for the candidates right now to do. The polls coming up indicates that in most, especially the swing states, it's either tied or one is leading the other by just 2% margin. So right now it's even very difficult to tell who exactly is going to win the election. But at the moment, if there is anything for a candidate to do, right now they've done it. There's nothing more.
Doc, thank you so much for your time. We'll come back to you tomorrow for more analysis. Dr. Hayford Nsia is a public policy and political analyst. And as it for News 360, thank you so much for your time. I am Portia Gabo. And I am Martin Esiedudate. Join us on Election 360 tomorrow, where we'll do a deep dive into the U.S. elections here at your Election Command Center. I am Martin Esiedudate. Bye for now.